Turn that shit off.
Hey guys, this is Boys of Summer 9B, I guess we could call it. I'm Joe.
I'm Jeremy.
And today we're going to talk about Magic Mike XXL. I'm not even going to ask you how you felt about it. I'm just going to go right into how I feel about it.
Smart move.
I thought it was legitimately entertaining. Like, I was worried we weren't able to watch it at like a discounted price or anything. And I was like feeling like really down about that. And then we got in there and the movie started and I was feeling kind of like down. I felt like, oh man, this is going to be like just another mumbly movie like the first one or whatever. And then like it kind of like goes into the full swing of it. And it was like, I don't know, it was like Road Trip or something like that. It was just like, or like Harold and Kumar. Like it was just like them on the road going from location to location with no real reason for why they're going to these places. Doing something kooky at each of these places for a goal that was like very vaguely defined, and I don't even know if there was really much of a payoff at the end, except for like, I don't know, if you wanted to see like the stripping competition, or it wasn't even a competition, it was a convention. But you know, if you want to see that, I mean, and that even had like, this was a movie like it almost defies genre. Like it goes into so many different places that I don't even know like how you really categorize it. I don't know, if Magic Mike was like the Rocky of male stripper movies, this was like the Rocky 3 of male stripper movies. And I have reasons I'll talk about that, but I'd like to hear more of your opinion. Oh, you gotta get more than that.
No, the movie was entertaining. It was much more entertaining than the first one.
By far.
But yeah. I mean, it was funny. It was really silly funny.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like they took a more silly approach.
And probably the better approach to take with the subject matter.
Yeah, especially if you're making a sequel to a movie that should not have a sequel.
Right.
So, but I mean, if you're into the male stripping, then the movie, it actually has less stripping than the first one did, which was surprising to me.
In a way.
Yeah.
Oh, like, overall, like, there were less scenes dedicated to stripping, but the scenes that were dedicated to stripping were, like, long scenes of stripping.
So, I think if you like that, of course, the female audience is directly towards the female, just 100%.
Yeah. We were the only two males and one other guy. And I walked out with a smile on my face because I thought the movie was hilarious.
I'm sure
Jeremy
they thought
was
something
upset.
else.
Jeremy was upset. And the guy that walked past us just looked utterly embarrassed. Like he couldn't believe what he just watched, what he had just walked into. He was with a group of 4 ladies. So what can he do? He probably got outvoted. I know how that feels. But that's a story for another time. But yeah, I mean, it was funny. Like the first movie had comedy moments, but this one was like, it actually embraced those as comedy. And it actually felt like the actors were having fun doing it.
Yeah, it did feel like there was a fun... I mean, the movie was pointless by far.
Yeah.
I mean, it was terrible writing, terrible directing. I mean, the directing was bad at times because it just
at times.
The editing was bad. Acting was actually good, but other than that, it just really looked like if you saw Grown Ups 2 and you took that and actually made it better, this is what the movie would be.
Yeah.
Like, pointless. You just made the movie because it was a sequel, needed to make money. You came, you had fun. No structure to it. I think Shane Tam wrote this movie. He doesn't need to be writing movies no more.
I don't think it was written poorly because it actually did a good job of anyone who couldn't come back for the first one, they did a good job of like explaining why they weren't
Anybody could do that. I can ask a 5-year-old to explain to me why he's not coming
I mean,
back.
some movies are terrible at it. Like, some movies do a terrible job at trying to
They
compensate.
do, and that's sad. Those should be fired.
Yeah.
Should be,
But,
whoever did the rewrite to that should be fired.
But, no, I mean, this one, I mean, I don't even know. It was really just like a collection of scenes that were almost inconsequential to each other, except
and
that
put
they
them together.
Yeah, except that they just took place like along their adventure.
It was a road trip movie without a middle part, without a you didn't have the big conflict in this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, there was conflict, but it wasn't like no big conflict. It's funny because Channing Tatum had no character arc, but some of the other people kind of did, but it was very tiny character arc.
Yeah,
so.
but couldn't you say that was almost the aim of this? Like we talked about when we walked out, like the first movie was him moving on with life outside of their profession, and this movie was the rest of them trying to do the same thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, and Channing was almost the one that needed to come back to like pull them, like to show them that there was hope on the other side.
Yeah, but what's the purpose of him coming back? just to have fun stripping.
I mean, yeah, so that he could dance to Pony in a scene, which was basically the entire scene was in the teaser. So I mean, and I didn't even think the scene was going to happen. I thought the scene was just filmed for the teaser because it felt like something that was, and I guess that speaks to like how at times disjointed this movie is that the scene that was shown in its entirety in the trailer was also in the movie, and was weird. Like it was just weird. Like it's like if he hears Pony, he just has to dance to it like command, like Pavlov dog type stuff.
It was a silly scene.
Yeah,
I mean it was all silly.
It was full of them.
J.J. Pinkett-Smith in the movie was bad.
Well, she just was playing Fish Mooney. She's just a method actor, and she's so into Fish Mooney that's just who she is now. I mean let's talk about like how random the cast was. Like for like a movie that couldn't have been a very high budget movie, there were so many named people. Like Michael Strahan played a stripper.
Well, he's cheap. I mean,
how weird is that? Like how unexpected.
Yeah, it's
was
unexpected,
that?
but you didn't pay him a lot. I guarantee you that.
Donald Glover.
Yeah, he's still cheap. He's cheap.
I mean, yeah, but like Jada Pinkett, you have to give her some money.
She's probably cheap too. She doesn't do anything.
I like how just everyone's cheap. Kevin Nash cheap.
He's cheap for sure. Everybody in that movie does not get big salary. The highest paid person in that movie is Channing Tatum. He's the only person that can even request a high paycheck.
I guess so. Amber Heard, I'm sure gets, because she's been in a fair number of.
She doesn't get paid a lot of money.
I mean, she's not like A-list by any means, but I wouldn't even say Channing Tatum is really A-list. I mean, he's been in A-list movies, but he's not A-list.
He's not
actor.
A-list, but he has recognition to get paid more money than everybody else.
I don't know.
It's a low budget movie. They didn't have no real. I mean, you didn't see no big names in the movie.
Yeah.
At all.
I mean, J.P. Pinkett-Smith was probably the biggest name other than Channing Tatum they had in the movie.
Yeah.
No, they had what was the other lady that was in Pitch Perfect?
Oh, Elizabeth Banks.
Elizabeth Banks was in. I mean, she's a big name too.
And I'm surprised about that. It was funny because I even like leaned over to you and I'm like, "This is like Pitch Perfect too."
I know
like,
she
I'm
almost
trying to
played
get
that
to.
same
Yeah, she was basically like.
Yeah. I bet she probably doesn't have a big salary either with movies yet either. So.
Well, because she's mainly like producer and director.
Yeah, so
anymore.
I mean, it was probably easy to get her, but you didn't have nobody that would claim a big paycheck or something like that, and nobody really wanted. I guess nobody wanted to come in just as a favor either, because Matthew McConaughey said no, and he left.
But I think that's more because, like, A, his character wasn't even that big in the first movie, and B,
he's too big now.
And yeah, it probably, like, he just doesn't have, like, the same kind of commitment to it or whatever. The rest of them, like, the kind of core group, I mean, you could tell, like, because, like, even so, like, a lot of them are still doing, like, big, like, relatively big things and didn't need this movie at all.
No,
Maybe Kevin Nash.
Yeah, the True Blood guy.
Yeah.
He was doing something.
Joe Manganiello or whatever. And Matt Bomer from White Collar, which is like...
Yeah, it's a pretty decent show. It's a pretty popular show.
Yeah. So, I mean, you definitely had like those like people and then some others. But, yeah, I mean, it was entertaining. But let's go into talking about this versus the first one.
It took you a while to say that.
So yeah, I wanted to kind of talk a little bit more like about this versus the other one, tone wise, and I think it really is a fair judgment to say, like a fair observation to say, if Magic Mike was Rocky, this was Rocky 3, like even bypass 2. Because Magic Mike was, at its core, a movie about a guy who wanted more than what his station in life gave him and had a shot. And that was pretty much what Magic Mike was.
Yeah, it wasn't. I don't think it was executed the best.
No,
not by far.
It was just like a character study of a man who found himself in a place in his life that he didn't see himself being at his age, and that's pretty much what Rocky is. It's just take boxing and and replace that with male stripping, which is like kind of like funny and like whatever. But it worked. It worked in theory, maybe not so much in execution. Rocky 3 is like just full on like just almost like action, like kind of movie type, like sports action movie. Went for like a lot of frills. It got like a bunch of like name actors like Hulk Hogan and stuff like that into it. And it was there's a lot more fluff. There was a lot less substance. And that's what this movie was. Also, why I compare this one to the third one is because in Rocky 3, after he gets destroyed by Clubber Lang, he goes back to Apollo Creed and his gym of black men, and like that's where like he has to find like his fire again, like in his like will to compete. And this movie had a scene where Mike goes to the black strip club and finds his like mojo again, and has to prove it to himself that he can do it again. It could be. I don't know. It was really funny because also, I mean, we're still not really comparing, but there was another movie that I wanted to watch for the sake of this review, Chocolate City, that came out like a couple months ago. And Chocolate City was basically billed itself as Black Magic Mike. It actually says, I read a review where it actually says in the opening line, "You all seen Magic Mike, right? Well, now we're going to add a little chocolate." Like, just openly acknowledges that they're ripping the movie off.
That's why I don't want to see it.
Yeah. And it's just funny because it's like this movie basically rips off Chocolate City by having like a black strip club, like a more like ethnic themed like strip club, which was really weird. And you pointed out to me that like the main Malik, which is kind of funny because when people were making fun of Chocolate City, they're like, why didn't they just call it Magic Malik? And then the character in this, the Black Magic Mike, is named Malik. But you said that Twitch. Twitch, who's like really like,
he's actually a really good dancer.
Yeah, and it showed. That sounds weird, but and then there was also
you like the movie.
Yeah, there was Michael Strahan, Donald Glover, Jada Pinkett. Like that was just, it was kind of like a out of nowhere scene.
Donald Glover's character was, I mean, you could cut his character, to be honest with you.
Kind of. It was just like they were like, "Oh, we got him. Let's have him sing because we know that he raps." And
I was surprised he was even in the movie.
Yeah, but I felt like it kind of. I thought he was going to be the MC. Because he kind of, like, I didn't think it was just going to be Jada Pinkett.
Well, I knew it was Jada Pinkett from the trailers.
Well, I knew she was in it, but I thought maybe she was like, I'm not going to go with you, but I'm going to send him. He can be your MC. Just because of the way, like, he kind of handled the crowd in his scene and everything like that. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, just, like, point for point, Magic Mike is just, like, a really, it's like, mumblecore all the way. Like, it's just, like, you can barely hear the audio sometimes. The acting's, like, really kind of deadpan. And this was just like so over the top. Like every scene, it's like they were trying to outdo the scene before them. Like between like Joe Manganiello dancing in the convenience store to them like with the random group of moms that were way too accepting of weird older men like fucking their daughters.
I mean, they were perfectly okay with that. Invited them into their home.
And then actually one fucks one of them. I mean, it was weird. I mean, sorry for the language. This is an adult themed show, obviously.
It's too late.
And yeah, and then to finally going to the stripper convention, which played out like so many things where it's like, we need to win the big thing, but we only have a day to perfect our like that was like Pitch Perfect and all these other things where it's like, we gotta do something new and something crazy.
They got everything ready in a day.
They even had a montage. They had a montage of people building stuff and training.
It's like it's hard for me to believe that Channing Tatum and Twitch remember that whole routine.
I know.
In a day and got down just pat.
Pretty much less than a day because it was like night when they were doing their whatever. And then
and the convention, like you got to the convention, didn't even like highlight.
Yeah, you didn't even see any other people.
You kind of montage a little bit of the other people, then you did their whole bit, and then after their bit, the movie's over.
The movie's over.
And it's like no conflict. Like you Channing Tatum, you don't even know if he gets one help with the girl. They don't have another scene together. It's like It's just like, what?
The movie is over, but like in the weirdest way possible. Like, think of the end of Power Rangers when they're all like watching the fireworks.
Saw Power Rangers that's watching
Power Rangers the movie. No, they have. Where they're all like at the pier watching the fireworks going off. That was basically verbatim the end of this movie. They're on a pier watching fireworks.
Don't you know that's what you do when you're about to separate? You go to a pier and watch fireworks.
Yeah, when it's the end of your journey, that's what you have to do. And fucking Van Halen's just fucking shredding in the background. I don't know, man. This
Van Halen wasn't shredding. It was all I do is win in the background.
Well, yeah, that which was even better.
No.
But yeah, that whole thing. I mean, I guess we can talk about it more like as we go on. But didn't that like whole like last scene though like? Didn't it feel like it was almost sprung on Amber Heard? Like, I just, like, got the feeling like she was not prepared for it because she looked legitimately... It wasn't like she was acting because I don't think she's that great an actress. She was acting embarrassed. I think she was legitimately embarrassed by what was happening because her face looked like she didn't know whether she was having fun or terrified by the things that Channing Tatum was doing to her.
The way you're talking about the scene, I just don't approve of it.
But anyway, let's move on to the future. The magic future.
Do you think there's going to be a Magic Mike 3?
I mean, I think there was... We kind of talk about, like, was there a point to this movie? No, this was not... No one was clamoring for it.
There is no point for this sequel. I don't even know why they made it.
I mean, it was a cash cow. It was cash cow.
Exactly. Just for the money. It even it disappointed the box office, too. I love it when movies do that and they don't make the money they should.
But will they do a third one? I mean, I think, like...
It depends on the money.
Yeah, but, I mean, they're doing, like, a third Jump Street movie.
That's made money, though. And it's popular.
It has made money, but, I mean, is that necessary? No. Like, if at this point, you can only go poorly. Especially because they're talking about crossing it over with Men in Black, which I don't even understand.
Well, Jump Street 2 wasn't really necessary, but it was funny.
Yeah.
And I think that if you go with one more, you would have to change your gimmick up because the gimmick's not going to be funny no more.
Yeah, I mean, it was weird because, like, The Hangover 2 basically did what 22 Jump Street did, but one was, I guess because...
22 Jump Street knowledgeably knew, made fun of it, and pointed out throughout their whole movie. We're basically doing that. Even the development of the characters, like riffing between each other, was exactly the same. Yeah. But they played off that beautifully. Hangover 2 was just like didn't acknowledge they were doing the same thing. They just wanted us to make it believe it wasn't the same thing again.
Well, so that definitely would probably be the difference. I mean, this I think it realized its ridiculousness and it did,
and which made it for a more entertaining movie than the first one.
Yeah, because I think the first one tries to be serious and actually tries to be like a character
and it wasn't
drama.
entertaining. I mean, I don't like Mel stripping, so
right.
Anyway, but the first movie wasn't really. Yeah, the second one, I think even if you're not into it, you just like sit down and watch it. There's entertaining moments in it.
It's almost like wall to wall comedy. I mean, with like little bits where it tries to be sentimental, and some of those hit and some of those didn't. But the comedy, I think, always hit. Like I don't think.
Yeah, I think the comedy was good throughout. I think that's solid.
But yeah, like, is there gonna be a 3? I mean, maybe, probably direct a Blu-ray.
I mean, if there's a third one, this movie has to make enough money to justify another one. And if there is a third one and it doesn't, I believe if there is a third one, it's not with Channing Tatum.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
It's like the American Pie movies. After what was it? They did 4 in theaters or 3?
Yeah, because they did the 3 and then they did American Wedding.
Oh, okay. Well, I know they made like 20 more movies straight to DVD with the dad in every single one. But I think if we do it, Magic Mike will go straight to DVD and you'll have some characters from it. Like Carlos will probably be a character that goes in there, and you might have another stripper from the movie that is in this one, but you have a new kind of character or something.
I mean, that's kind of like an interesting thing, and it's like, do they bring back Twitch and Donald? Like what direction? That's the thing. I can't even. This movie barely had a plot, so I can't even
think of what you would do next.
What they would do? Like, do they go to Worlds? Do they go to the World Strip Convention and they run into like Japanese?
It's like I think they said they want to make Pitch Perfect 3, and it's like, what do you do for Pitch Perfect 3? You kind of ran out. Pitch Perfect 2 was almost kind of like the same movie again. Yeah. But it kind of worked. It still was entertaining. I feel like if you do Pitch Perfect 3, we talked about this in our review, you have to follow that one girl or make it way in the future. But I don't know.
They're getting married or
yeah,
something.
Yeah, Magic Mike, I don't know what you do. And I guess unless you do the same thing, one of them's getting married, maybe they moved on and they're all... But then again, I guess you're just rehashing. Is that necessary?
I mean, yeah, that's the thing, because the impetus was like, yeah, like, we're moving on. So, I really don't know. I mean, maybe that's why this skipped just being XL and it's XXL, because there's nothing else. I mean, unless you just do XXXL.
You should just do Magic Mike XXX. Wait, that's probably porn already.
I mean, yeah, that's probably already been done.
Yeah, probably right.
A few times.
The first one probably already made that happen.
Yeah.
Magic Mike, this is not. What is it? I don't know.
Yeah, this is not Magic Mike.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's. I mean, this movie though. I mean, it's inspired like copycats like Chocolate City.
It's funny too because every movie inspires those whole gimmick remakes.
Yeah.
I don't know why they do it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like whenever a horror movie comes out and that group, the Asylum, always has to do like a fake version of it.
Yeah, it's like tries to be serious, but it's just a different title, but exact same movie. Basically.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, is it going to do anything? I don't know. Was this movie necessary? No. Is a third one necessary? No, definitely not, because I don't even think you could hit the same level of comedy. I think the comedy was in the idea that this was the last time they were doing it, so they said fuck it. Like,
I think that made it work. I don't think you did it again. The movie was stupid. This one was stupid, but at least it had the comedy. I think if you take that away, the first one at least had a serious element, but boring. This one was stupid but funny. Yeah. Now, if you do another one, it's just gonna be stupid. You're gonna be like, you're gonna be like 30 minutes later. You're like off. Yeah. I can't watch it. I'm not finishing this movie.
Yeah, definitely. And just like a note, I mean, it goes without saying, but this was probably one of the better audiences we've had.
Well, I mean, I thought it would be because it's Magic. Even if it was a small audience, it definitely was better because it's Magic Mike. Mm-hmm. The females are in there. It was given. Yeah. I would like to. I mean, we need. Definitely need. I think Ant-Man Mission Impossible would be good. Minions, the children movie always have kids in it, so it's kind of hard because that's given with any movie that has kids in it. It's always going to have that kind of audience. Can
you imagine if we watched this though, like the day it came out, like it would have been raucous.
I don't want to do that. I'll be embarrassed.
Yeah, but I guess let's go to scores. But I want you to go first.
Oh, I'm gonna say Rent. I think this movie is definitely an easy rental, even if you're a straight dude.
Yeah.
And you're watching it with your girl or something. It has comedy in it, and it actually has entertaining moments. The first one, beyond, in my opinion, I don't think if you're a straight dude, and I don't think it has anything to interest you till you even watch the movie.
Not really, no.
But this one, if you're just watching by yourself, I think it even has some stuff that interests you that is entertaining that you could just watch it by yourself.
Unless you like dancing, because
if this is, I see. It's dancing, but they also stripping dancing. I mean, they do the same move over and over again. So it's not the same to me. But no. I think this movie is entertaining, and that's why I say it's a rental. I think it's a great rental. Just watch it when it comes out on Redbox or on demand.
Mm-hmm. I'm about to blow your mind because I'm going to say full price. I believe
that didn't blow my mind. You probably did some things after the movie. Had to cleanse yourself.
Yeah. No, because honestly, like the comedy, it was one of the funnier movies I'd seen in a long time. Just being honest, it really was.
It was.
It made me laugh.
The Vacation trailer was also funny.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, and I mean, and that's kind of a similar concept if you think about it. Plot wise, the energy, like actually, like seeing it in theater, like because they had the fucking audio going like I thought like Interstellar was scary loud when we watched it, but this was like I felt like I was going to go deaf, like my ears were ringing.
Interstellar was on purpose. I don't know if this was on purpose. I don't know if the theater had it turned up.
Yeah,
if it was part of the movie. I
feel like it had to be because of the performances.
Even the trailers were loud though. So
I know. I
think it was the theater more than the
they're probably also lazy. Like they're probably like, oh, let's just turn it up, keep it turned up.
Doesn't surprise me. It's a Wednesday. Look, you went to the movie with us. There was people moving like this slow to get popcorn.
Yeah, it was pretty terrible.
We waited in line for 10 minutes, and there was honestly 3 people in line.
Yeah,
that's how slow the place was going.
It was bad. But yeah, like it was funny. It kept me entertained, pretty much like scene for scene. beginning is boring, but once it actually
Yeah,
gets into
boring.
the conceit of the movie,
Once they take the LCD, the movie hits its stride.
yeah.
Not LCD, it's speed, right? Was it speed or
it was ecstasy.
ecstasy? There you go. Sorry.
And LCD would not have been right anyway.
I don't care.
LCD is a type of light.
It's a drug.
Yeah, but
I'm gonna create it.
okay, but you're thinking LSD, but yeah, no, I
I'm
mean,
creating LCDs.
it was like the music, like the soundtrack. I saw so many people were like, "Buy me that soundtrack." The soundtrack was actually pretty damn good. I mean, I feel weird like how much I'm glowing over this movie, but I'm just saying, like it was.
You feel weird. I sit next to you,
Yeah.
and I feel weird.
But yeah, it was like funny. It was like randomly like kept your interest. Music was good.
How much did you enjoy this movie after the movie when you got home?
Is
Is that appropriate for TV camera?
Yeah, I plead the fifth.
Okay, that's what I thought.
But no, it was just I think it was worth the $7.15 we paid. I felt like I did not waste a dime.
$7.15. We didn't pay $7.15.
What did we pay?
We paid $10.
Oh, I felt like we were going to pay.
Oh my god, he doesn't even know.
Well,
he
good.
was so into the movie.
I know, I was so
he
into
didn't
the
even know
movie.
what he paid.
I felt like I was getting a deal. That's how much I was into it. Whatever I paid,
I
felt
charged
like
you $30, and you'd have been like,
yeah, I was like,
I'm ready for
yeah.
my movie.
F it. But yeah, I thought it was fun. I'm also probably because I came in like mostly expecting to enjoy it ironically, so I was pleasantly surprised that it actually had legitimate laughs to it. That's it. My energy.
Your energy just went from here to boom. You're like, yeah.
Because now we're done talking about it, and my excitement's gone.
Oh, okay.
But
well,
so
anyway,
now we're watching. Oh no, I know why my energy's down because I know what we're watching.
Man, dude, you and anime movies, get out of here. Just go away. I'm gonna do a review by myself next week. I don't even care. You do one by yourself.
Yeah, I'll watch Chocolate City and I'll give a
review.
supplementary.
Yeah, and I'll watch Minions and give the more interesting one.
But
yeah, Minions is obviously next week, which I'm excited about.
And yeah, so until then, I've been Joe.
I've been Jeremy.
And we'll catch you next week.
Yeah, thanks for watching.